Hello, my friends. I have gone through my folders of my ephemera and I've pulled anything out that is botanical. And actually, I have this set. It's one of the first sets that I ever bought when I first started doing junk journals. And I think it's perfect. So I'm going to try to work with this today. This is also some greenery here, and this was given to me by my friend Ladybug Michelle, so I'm going to use some of that hopefully today. I pulled some scrap paper in some neutral. This one has a little bit of green on it. This is probably too floral. Actually, let's get rid of that. Let's not plan to use that one. I had some nice deep green fabric. This was a scrap just hanging around. Probably won't end up using it, but it's here just in case I change my mind. And then I also pulled this envelope in case I felt inspired to decorate it, because it has like, hopefully you can see, it's got like, you know, some plant material on it. So I thought that was nice. And then I have a variety of green scraps here. Here I've got browns. I didn't realize I pulled black, but anyway, I've got browns, a little more green, and some creamy tan colored ones here. And then some small ones in case I decide to do a tag with the tag or use this for, you know, a background. Also, just so you guys know, this was given to me by my friend Pam at Pamela's Creations. So thank you, Pam, and thank you, Michelle, for the lovely gifts. Before we get started on the fun part, we're going to back these because look how like soft they are. Plus, it would be, you could write on it, but it wouldn't be like as smooth as paper. So I'm going to start by backing them. And so even though they'll still be a little bit flexible, you can write on this paper. Then I also pulled some of my beautiful coffee dyed papers. I'll cut this off. And I'm gonna use this to back them. And some of these are coffee and gold, and look how pretty that is, but you can still write over it. And I just think that'll be kind of cool looking. So we're gonna do that before we start with the decorating part. I could sew them together or I could glue them together. You know, gosh, it really is tempting to sew them. All right, friends, I'm gonna go ahead and sew at least some of them, and then I'll be back and then we'll probably glue some of them. All right, friends, I am back from my sewing machine. Excuse the shadow here. It's coming from my window. The sun is blasting in the window, which is wonderful because it was literally rainy this morning when I first started this video, but it is causing a little bit of a line there. Anyway, went to the sewing machine. Okay, so this is so funny. I sewed all these tags, and these are on the back of vintage paper that I had already coffee dyed. These are actually vintage bank statements, and I've used them to coffee dye and then work with them. So I've done that, but what was great is that I did all these tags, and literally on my very last one, which I think was this one, I don't know, it was one of them, it doesn't really matter, it was this one actually because it's got the long string. The bobbin part literally ran out. This is the last of the bobbin. So it was like so perfect because I was like, I kept looking and checking to see if like I would lift the paper and look at the bobbin and make sure there was still some thread because I was waiting to run out like any second. And luckily I got through it. So that was wonderful because I didn't want to stop and reload my bobbin and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't have to, which was fantastic. So I don't know if it's better for me to use this to cut the excess off or use some scissors, but we're going to go ahead and try this just because it is quicker than scissors. And that, I thought that worked, but let me press down a little firmer here. There we go. Okay. So I'll do it with this cutter, and then I'll do it with scissors for the in-between part, which, speaking of, where are my scissors? Here they are. Okay. So it does give it a nice look when we use our sewing machine, when we can. You know, sometimes some of us don't have sewing machines, and that is perfectly fine. I do happen to have one. And I actually bought this sewing machine for my daughter when she was in elementary school. She was taking sewing classes because I thought it was important for her to learn how to sew. I just think it's a lost art, and she's artistic and she was up for it. So I thought, hey, why not, you know? And that's when I bought this sewing machine. I absolutely love it, and it works great. So I'm happy to have it. And now that I'm setting up the craft room, as you guys are sick of hearing about, I'm setting it up. The sewing machine is set in its place where it is going to stay. So it's very exciting, and I actually can use it, and I love being able to use it. So I want to, of course, take advantage of that. Uh-oh. This piece of board is very thick, so actually I got it. I'm surprised though. I thought I would have to go at it with scissors. So yeah, it's a very thick piece of board, and I was wondering if the sewing machine would be fine with it, but it was. The other ones are quite thin and no problem to sew through. All right. So I hope everybody is doing great. Not sure when you're going to see this video, but the day that I'm making this video is a Friday, and I'm so grateful because I had a very taxing week at work, and so I'm absolutely thrilled that my work week, this is the last day, and that makes me very happy. Like I said, it's a rainy day today. We're supposed to get rain on and off all day long, and then we are supposed to get rain all weekend. Now, by the time you guys see this video, that will be old news. Now, I see that this green is a little crooked. Actually, two sides of it I can see were hand cut with scissors. So let me see if I can straighten that out just a little bit. It was a piece of scrap green that I had, and so apparently I had cut it with scissors and not realized that. But that's okay. We have just straightened it all out, so no worries. Anyway, yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. Doing good here. Like I said, you know, had a taxing week at work, but you know, that happens. That's just life, and we just have to try to get through it. Recuperate on the weekends, which is what I really try to do, is kind of get my health back over the weekend. And then, you know, also every day I work on organizing in my room. I'm bringing stuff in now. Now the details in the room are not done. For example, in between the cabinets there's some space, and so the space, you have to go in with wood and connect the spaces between the cabinets. And that happens when you are spacing your cabinets properly in accordance to how it's going to fit on the wall. Hopefully that makes sense. And so, you know, sometimes you just have to put spacers in there. So that has to be done in here. My window treatments need to go up. I have one window treatment up now, and it's been in here for about 20 years. Well, maybe not that long, but it's been here for a while. And, oh, I hope I didn't just cut through the threads. So what I'll do, I didn't, but it's real close. I'll go over that with some adhesive, and it'll hold that in place. And I'll do that on the back as well, just to have a little insurance policy there. So anyway, I was talking about the window treatment. Yeah. So I don't have a window treatment over my slider because I never wanted them. I don't have neighbors in my backyard. So I love having the light come in. I love the feeling of the openness. I love feeling connected to the outside. So I never put them up, but I am going to go ahead and put one up in the slider in the craft room now. I think just to pull the room together and just to add a little color, because I have a lot of white going on in here, which I love. I wanted that so that my creative brain wasn't overstimulated by other stuff going on. So at any rate, yeah, to bring a splash of color in, I think I'm going to go ahead and put a window treatment up at the sliding glass door. and then over the window, which is, I'm facing a window right now. And so I want to put a little decorative window treatment over that, just to, again, bring a little splash of color. So I put a bead of glue there, and then I'm going to put that over some scrap paper, and I'm just going to press that in. And I'll take the excess that's on my finger and I'll just put that on the back. Okay, that we're going to set aside and let dry. If it dries with a shine, or let's say it's darker brown, because that could happen, then we'll just cover it with a little piece of ephemera that we're using for our tags. I'm going to set it up like this so it doesn't get stuck on anything, and we'll just let that dry. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to show you the front and back of each tag. So as you can see, this is my coffee and gold dyed paper. This one's just a plain coffee. Plain coffee and gold. Look at that nice gold splatter there. Isn't that gorgeous? Whoops, can you see it? Isn't that gorgeous? More of the, you can see the sparkle right there. Hopefully you can see it sparkle. The sun is blasting in my room so hard right now that I can't see when I look up into the camera to like make sure I'm in frame and all that. I can't see. Anyway, all right, so we've got a brown one to work with. We have a black one to work with. We have green. We have cream. 3 of those and another black one. Yes, yes. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll come back when we're done and we'll put ribbon through here or something like that. And we'll also come back just to see, I like to give my eye a break, and we'll check to see if there's anything else that we want to add. So you can make a list of things that make your soul happy here, and then you can go ahead and write on the back as well. All right, let's move to the next one. Let's do this brown one. Now my glue was leaking out of the bottle, so I went ahead and I put this fabric under it real quick and caught it, and then adhered this tag to the fabric, and I think that's gonna look really pretty on this tag. I'm gonna move it down just a hair to make sure that we can fit our brad in here, because I think we'll use brads on each one of those. I don't think this one needs anything else. Sometimes simple is best, right? All right, this one's a little plain, so we definitely are going to want to add a splash of color. So I've chosen this one. Then I think I'd like to add this butterfly down here in the corner. And then I think we'll add this. It says this is our happy place, and I think we'll add that right here on the side. Pressing from this side so that none of the images move around, but it helps to spread the glue around. And like I said, we'll come back and revisit and see if there's anything that we want to add. I do have some stickles, so maybe we add some of those, or we could add a button somewhere. Anyway, we'll check it out once we let our eyes rest and stop looking at it for a little while. All right, we're gonna work on the green one now. Oh, excuse the airplane going by. I'm gonna tear some of my coffee dyed paper just to give it a nice rough edge, which adds nice texture. And I was thinking we could add this sticker. It says, "Find joy in the ordinary," but we definitely have to add some botanical to it. That's far too large. Let's see how we might want to do this. We could do it up here like this, have a plant down here. I like this, but I feel like I maybe want a little fabric down here. So I grabbed this is my little bin where I keep my small scraps. I have bigger scraps elsewhere, but this is my small scraps. So let's take a look and see if there's anything we can use there to add a little texture. Might pull these yellow ribbons out. It's a little bit of a different style. Oh wait, what's this? Oh look, I have a little scrap of this beautiful ruffle that my friend Paper Kitty 99 made for me. Let's try that. Look, you guys, I think that's perfect. Okay, so let's start with our layering. This piece is the first layer. Oh, well, that's even better on that side. Yep, okay. Oops. And then I believe this is going to be our second layer. If I put a brad through that, I don't want it to poke through the word, so I should be okay to do that. Oh, I sometimes like to add a little glue. I don't always trust stickers, although these have some really good stick to them. I'll just put a little bit under there. And then this is our third layer. And then we will use our fabric glue for this piece. Just about out of this bottle. I have more on hand, not to worry. I do keep a good stock of this sort of stuff. I don't ever like to actually run out, but I do like to use it to the last drop because it's not cheap, as you guys know. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna turn that over and just press the top part down. Okay, and I'm going to secure, you guys know I like to use my clothespins. They have a really good reach. That's why I use clothespins, because they can reach up further than like bullnose clips and stuff like that. Actually, I might as well leave that jar open because I'm probably going to need it again. All right, that was fun. So here's a bright green one. This one's a little bit different. Let's see what we can do for this one. I thought I had got all these threads already, but apparently I did not. Okay, so let's see. All right, I'm not sure what direction I want to head in for this one, but I think we'll add some of this fun coffee and gold dyed paper. So let's cut this here. Or, you know, I'm going to tear it because, again, for the texture. I'm going to tear it a little bit more. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out which end I like the most, because I don't want it to take over the whole. That's perfect. Okay. Now I could ink these edges, but I'm not going to. I don't feel the need to make them darker. I was thinking I want to use these words, but I also want to use this plant, kind of a similar layout as the one before. I really liked the way that that looked. So let's put this plant on first. Now we've got the words. All right, let's go for it. I'm going to put just a little dot of glue on each one. All right, I'm going to start with the larger word, and I'm going to put it right here. All right, do we need anything else on here? We'll have a brad, and we'll do some material. I don't know that we do. Again, I'm finding that simple is appealing to me with these tags, but we can always come back to it. So we'll set that aside to dry. So remember our brown one that we added some glue just to make sure that the thread didn't pull out? So you can see it's a little bit shiny on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of yellow ribbon. We'll put it here when we go to put our brad in. Not our brad, I keep calling it a brad, but it's not, it's an eyelet. So guys, every time I have said brad, scratch that out and add the word eyelet. So anyway, we can do the eyelet underneath, but I do feel like I want to cover that. Now, I could cover it with some torn paper. Let's see which looks better. Well, I mean, that doesn't look bad. It looks kind of interesting, and it takes up less room. So let me see if I have a wider one. These are the scraps, you know, that I tore off. Well, friends, what do you think of that? Let's do that. It's kind of interesting, a little different. So let's do that. I'm just going to put that on there and let it dry. And then I'll trim the top. Some of the top is peeking out, which is fine, but that way I know that I've got it, you know, up there all the way. So I can always trim it up. Okay, I kind of like that. So we've got that handled. Now, what do we want to put on this one? Well, I haven't used one of these from my friend, so let's take one of these out from my friend Michelle, Ladybug Michelle. Okay, so let's say we were gonna, well, let's say we were gonna do that. And then, what else might we want to put with that? We could do, could put one of these at the bottom, and then let's find some words. We have rest easy. Oh, okay, so if that came down just a little bit, and then this, let's see, we could do that here. Whoops, let's do it like right there. And then we can pull this down so it's not covering the words. And then we could do this across the bottom, but then I still feel like we need something here. All right, what do we think about this so far? And then we put a piece of fabric here. I guess it could go straight. I don't usually put anything on too straight, but let's say it went across like this. And let's say instead of the flower, we went in with the stamp and kind of did it in the corner. Yeah, maybe we do that. And then later on, when we come back to look, if we want like a little button here or something, we can do that. Let's start with that and see how we like it. I'm going to curl this so that a bunch of stuff doesn't, like if I put a stamp on there, I don't want it to have a lump in the center of it. So we'll just curl it up and do it like that. I might angle this just a little bit, and then I'm thinking about under this putting a little bit of maybe white lace or something. So let's do that. Let's do this first. I'm really having to squeeze hard on this bottle to get anything out of it, but it's still coming out, so. All right, let me go see if I can find some lace for here and then maybe here too, just kind of tie the two together somehow. All right, friends, now I see the shadow has moved down the table, so I'm going to move this up a little bit so the shadow is here. But okay, so here are some of the buttons I found. I don't have many green buttons. This is green. I actually have, I don't even know where I got this, but there's a little green thread here. And a beautiful green button. Look at that, so pretty. Let me change my lighting, see if I can get rid of that shadow. So guys, I thought I'd just have a little fun with some of this yarn that I found, and I am adhering it just very playfully to this tag. Like I said, just having some fun, not overthinking it, adding a lot of texture. And I just think that's great. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one of these buttons. So the decision is whether it's this one, or actually this small one in the center. Or I could go with a brown one. The brown one looks better because of the brown tag. So I'm going to grab my sandpaper here. I always like to sand up anything that's got a shiny backing on it and give the glue something to grip to. So I keep sandpaper handy. You don't have to use sandpaper. You can go to the beauty supply store and get one of those nail sanding blocks for acrylic nails. Those work great. I also do have a stash of those. Just my little piece of sandpaper happened to have been close by, and so that's what I used. All right, I got the glue on there. We're gonna pop that, oops, sticking to my finger, but we're gonna pop that right in here, right in the center. That's great. Now I'm gonna grab clothespin. I really wanna make sure that these are gonna be glued down. There we go. All right, we're gonna set this aside and let it dry. All right, friends, I have finished up our tags. So let me show each one to you, and I'll put them down so I'm not moving them around. And actually, I can zoom in a little bit if I put them down like that. There we go. All right, so this one says find joy in the ordinary, and I think you maybe saw me put this one together, and here is the back, and it's been sewn. Then there's this one, and it's got some fabric, and then, yep, matter of fact, I think you saw me make this one. I just added a few different additions down here, and then of course they've all got brads in them and ribbon, and there's the back. Then we've got this one. Can't remember if you saw this one or not, but I added a little heart brad right here on the butterfly. This one I think I was working on, and this is where we left off. So I ended up adding this yarn, just having some fun with it. I believe I mentioned that. And the stamp and the fabric, and then put the button right here. And then we added the brad and our trim or ribbon. This one is very simple. It says be kind. We used some of the paper that I tore and just the stickers, and then used a green eyelet and pink ribbon. There's the back of that one. I think that looks so cool. This one's kind of cool. I really like it. It's very simple. It says be still. Because of that, I kept it really simple. I put this fabric, what do we call this anyway? It's like a lacy fabric, and I put that over the black cardstock with these embellishments, and then some gold satin ribbon. There's the back. This one is quite simple as well. It says refresh. It's got a lot of greenery on it. I used green ribbon. I put a frog brad right there. And here's the back of this one. This one says full of joy. I ended up putting a napkin over the card. I added some pieces of ephemera here and a heart brad right there. Green ribbon, and here's the back. Oops. This one I love. It's so simple, but it says rest up, which is perfect. It's a great one to keep simple because of what it says. It lets your eye rest on it. I just added some green ribbon here, and here's the back. This one is simple as well. I've got some bird scrapbook paper in the back, and you can see that I used my punch to make a decorative trim. There's a tree, obviously, and it says, I go to nature to be soothed and healed and to have my senses put in tune once more. John Burroughs. And I added a little bird on the bottom, and there's the back. So friends, those are my tags. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you being here and spending time with me. Thanks for watching. See you soon.